purposes behind screening and assessment is to collect information on each child's development. This information will help drive your planning process by identifying those children who may need more support and pinpointing those ready for a challenge. This also allows you to start intentionally planning for children. When you intentionally plan, you plan with purpose and goals. The screening and assessment process can feel very similar. You may even use the same strategies to gain information needed, but they are different. Let's start with screening. Think of the screening process as if it were a snapshot of the child's development, whereas the assessment process is more ongoing to track the child's progress. Both of these tools will help guide your planning process and identify areas where children need more support. One important thing to keep in mind with both screening and assessment is child engagement. The more we engage with children, the more we will know and the better we can plan for them. When educators observe children during play, they are more likely to gain accurate knowledge about their development. Children can feel when they are being quizzed or tested by adults. This often causes them to shut down or shy away under the pressure. This ultimately doesn't leave you with a true gauge on their development. Observing the child as a whole is very important. This means you focus on all areas of development, not just the ABCs. Those social and emotional skills are crucial. We want children to be successful for life in every area, not just with the alphabet. Anecdotal notes is a term often linked to screening and assessment. Think of it as a fancy way to say, I write down observations. When you're collecting anecdotal notes, it's important to be objective and only state the facts. Avoid making assumptions about what the child may be feeling or thinking. When you add assumptions, you're being subjective. Let's take a closer look using this anecdotal note. Jonathan liked the block area. He played there for over 30 minutes. This is an example of a subjective anecdotal. It's subjective because we are assuming he likes the block area. Unless Jonathan tells us he likes the block area, we do not know. In order to be objective, you could write, Jonathan played in the block area for over 30 minutes. When you're writing anecdotal notes, think of yourself as a reporter and only state what you see and hear. Collecting those on-the-spot observations while still engaging with children can be tricky, so it's important to find strategies that work best for you. Some educators keep paper and pencil close by to jot down notes. These notes will be transferred to the child's individual file at a later time. Common resources tend to be Post-it notes, scrap paper, mailing labels, and notebooks. Just make sure you date each piece of documentation. Taking photos to capture the children in the moment can also be a quick and easy way to collect documentation without losing that precious engagement time. Often these photos will act as a visual reminder for you to refer back to at a later time. Collecting children's work samples can help you tell a visual story about the child's development. It's important to collect meaningful samples that demonstrate progress over time. Dating this evidence is extremely important to capture the timeline of progression. Please remember to focus on what's meaningful to development and avoid the temptation of turning this portfolio into a scrapbook. Systems will help keep your evidence organized and user-friendly. Binders and individual child files or folders tend to be commonly used. I found using an evidence tracker form very beneficial. This form was helpful to ensure no child slipped through the cracks. An educator's ability to be prepared and organized allows them to collect evidence on the go at any time and in any location. For example, some children tend to be more active in the mornings while others might feel more refreshed in the afternoon. Collecting anecdotal notes can take place on the playground and even at the lunch table. Some educators may even have designated reflection time each day to recap skills and interactions observed. This can be done from memory, but your written notes, photos, and work samples will also help. The more organized you become, the easier collecting gets. Plus, this will increase your time for engaging with children. As you begin the screening and assessment process, remember there are many different systematic ways to collect information about your children. Just make sure the system you choose works for you. One size does not fit all, and you may need to try out several different strategies until you find out what works best for you and your group of children. Again, the more we engage with children, the more we will know, and the better we can screen, assess, and intentionally plan for them.